Welcome. Hello, Americans and non Americans. We're going to look at some toys and a comic book that are interrelated. Yeah, it is. So in 1958, Dell Comics came out with this comic book called Walt Disney Old Ironsides with Johnny Tremain. This was the second Johnny Tremain comic that Dell Comics put out. This is four color number 872. Now, there was an earlier issue that's just called Johnny Tremain. I don't have that one. This is the one I have. This is the story of Old Ironsides, and I think it's the USS Constitution. And Johnny Tremain is intermingled in here. He's in here in with the story of Old Ironsides, just like he's in with the story of the Boston Tea Party, which is the first part of Johnny Tremain. So I haven't seen the movie in a long time, and maybe I only saw it when I was a kid when it came on The Wonderful World of Disney. But I remember the song from it. I remember them marching and lighting the Tree of Liberty, and I think that was the first or the second part of the movie. I don't know, but it's the first comic. Is that one? Is the Boston Tea Party? So in 1957, when that movie came out, because this was a movie, Johnny Tremain, Mark's Toys put out a playset, the Johnny Tremain playset. Now it was a huge playset, 100 figures and all kinds of stuff, and just tons of stuff. I only have one piece of it, and it doesn't even necessarily. It may not even be a piece of the actual Johnny Tremain playset. It's this building right here, which is the tavern. It's the Sons of Liberty Tavern. Now, this was originally made for the 1957 Johnny Tremain playset, but then after that, Marx used it multiple times after for all of their Revolutionary War playsets that came out after, and so it was used in like about 5 or 6 different playsets. I just don't know. I don't know where it originally came from. It's pretty neat on the inside. But this is the only vintage piece that I have here that is this Marx, that could be from the Marx Johnny Tremain set. It's neat, huh? So yeah, well, there, I did it again. Let's flip it back around. I like the front better. But these figures we're looking at, they're replicas. They're not replicas. They're just reproductions made from, I don't know if they're made from original molds or reproduction molds, but these are the 5 or 6 character figures. 6 of the character figures that came with that Johnny Tremain playset, and they've been reproduced and remolded in a blue plastic that looks very nice. But these aren't the originals. But this guy back here, this is the father of our country. This is George Washington. He's not actually a part of this playset. I just have him out here because he's blue, made of the same plastic. He's also a reproduction, not an original. First president, 1789 to 1797. General George Washington. This is a nice figure, isn't it? So let's put him right here at the front of the tavern, at the front of the Sons of Liberty. And the first figure we'll look at here that would have come with the playset is this Paul Revere figure. Isn't this neat? So it's Paul Revere making his famous midnight ride. Where is that? Where was it? Where was his midnight ride? Oh man, is this 5th grade? When did we learn this? Is it Lexington? Camden? I forget. Boy, it's awful, huh? American history. I should reread, but I don't have it anymore. I wish I still had my bicentennial battles. I don't have bicentennial battles anymore. My Captain America's bicentennial battles. I thought it was kind of lame and kind of hokey, and gave it to my cousin. I didn't like it. I thought it was silly. Okay. Let's look at the figures. This is this character that was in the movie Johnny Tremain is not a true story. Johnny Tremain is a novelization of a character that's almost like Forrest Gump like. I mean, he's not slow, but he's inserted into moments in history, and he's a fictional character. And then there's some of the characters in the story and in the movie are actual people, but they've been fictionalized and been made into characters in the book, and then they made the book into a movie. That's what we're talking about here. And this is one of those guys. His name is Rab Silsby, and I think he has something to do with making the free press, with creating free press in Boston. I think most of this story takes place. These characters are Boston characters. This guy with this triangle hat. It's a very nice mold. Now I haven't watched the movie to see if this looks like an actor from the movie. It's very possible. These figures were created right when the movie came out and were sold. This is James Otis, and were sold as merchandising for the film. I don't know if James Otis is a famous history guy. I didn't read up, how I do that. Purposefully come in unprepared in the hopes of making it more entertaining for you. And then if I make mistakes, like blatant ones, hey, then good on you to have to make a comment. That means you have to comment in the video and correct me on my mistakes. This is Sam Adams. This guy he's a statesman. And then also they made beer with the beers. I don't know what's going on with the beer, but there's a beer named after this guy too. I don't know if it's actually related to him or if it's somebody that's using his name. I'm not sure. I like how the figure has the paper that looks like it has writing on it. Are you looking at? Do you see it? I mean, it's hard to see because my camera is so crappy, but see? It's got some sort of writing on it. Looks neat. Looks like Braille. Or it looks more like Morse code. It's just dots and dashes. Sam Adams. This is Scylla. I noticed it earlier. I like that her name is Scylla. This is, I believe, Johnny Tremain's love interest. The actress that portrayed this character was quite beautiful. I can't remember her name, but this figure doesn't quite do her justice, but it looks nice. I think it's pretty nice for a little toy. It's not unattractive. And her hair looks nice in the back, those little ringlet things. I love you, Scylla. And then here's our boy, Johnny Tremain. There he is. Does he look like the kid? He does look like the kid. I think he looks like that kid. Is there a resemblance there? I would say there's a little bit of a resemblance. There's a little resemblance. It's there, I guess. So I don't know if this figure is made to carry things. Like, I don't know if there's a little bucket that the set came with that he can carry, or a rifle or two. Maybe he should be carrying rifles, because I think that's what he was doing, is like he's like providing ammunition and doing stuff to help the freedom or the Minutemen. He's involved. He's working with the Minutemen. They're marching, and this is where they're getting together and making plans. And this is the Tree of Liberty, and they're going to light the Tree of Liberty. Because we are the sons, the sons of liberty. That's how it goes. It's a tall, tall tree. It's a tall old tree and a proud old tree. And we're the sons, the sons of liberty. That's how the song goes. Something like that. I wish I knew more of it, but I just remember the chorus. American Privateers. This is 1958, and this is not Gold Key. This is Dell. This is Dell 4-Color Comics, number 874 from 1957. Let's take a look. The art looks nice in here. It's pretty, isn't it? For many years after the Revolution, there is peace between England and the United States. Now it is November 1811. As the USS Constitution makes her way into Portsmouth Harbor, England, the clouds of war between England and the United States are again gathering on the horizon. Getting close to be the War of 1812. That's what this part's about. It's a tall old tree and a strong old tree. Is that Johnny right there? We are the sons the sons of liberty. Yeah, this is Johnny, and I think he's like working on the USS Constitution. Like he's like a cabin boy for the captain or something. Is that what's happening here? You, sir, but you're an American. This looks like a really good story. I did read this a long time ago. Maybe not that long. I remember enjoying this. This is about 5 years ago that I read this. I think I read it at the beach. Need to get back to that. That wouldn't be a bad idea to do well, it's hard down there because it's loud because of the ocean and then the wind, but still it wouldn't be a bad idea to, on non-windy days, to do beach comic reviews, to read the comic at the beach, and then immediately after I'm done reading it, then just film a review right at the beach, and then we could go through it, and it would be quicker, and I could point out what happened and give you a synopsis of everything. But as it is, this isn't bad. I mean, I enjoyed making these videos. I don't know if you guys enjoy watching them, but I like looking at the art and leafing through and kind of getting an idea of the story, like I've always said, almost like you're in the waiting room of a doctor's office or something. Just flipping through, getting a feel for it, and wondering and getting an idea of whether this might be a comic that might interest you, or the type of comic that would interest you. This Dell 4-color from 1958. It's a nameless artist. There's no telling who this artist is or was. We don't know, because it wasn't important. It was not important at this point for this artist's name to be on this book. It wasn't. I don't know, guys. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. There's something that I like about that. There's something that I like about artists not taking credit for their work, especially when this is what their work looks like. I mean, it's beautiful. It's recounting American history. I mean, you could probably find out who this artist was and who these people were, but at the time, nobody knew. Nobody cared that much about who was making comic books anyway, but Dell was certainly not putting their names anywhere. So that's an interesting thing, I think. And I kind of like it. I don't know what it is about it that I like, but it has something to do with the way the industry has changed. So to me, it has something to do, what I like about it has to do with the way that the industry has degenerated, and the way that people are so self-important and smugnerant, and what are some of the other words that they are? Sanctimonious about their career as a comic book artist. It's rather laughable, isn't it? I mean, let's get serious. If you're not Frank Frazetta or Jim Steranko, you shouldn't be like wearing your hair in a pompadour and popping your collar. And so the equivalent to wearing a pompadour and popping your collar in this day and age is putting your names on the cover of the comic all the way at the top before you even see the title of the comic. It says, written by Kelly Sue DeConnick, illustrated by Lesbo McDyke, lettered by Faggy McFagstein, edited by Abdul Mohammed Rahid Isis. Yeah, and so that's typically what the cover of Marvel Comics look like. And then you just get a big pinup of I don't know, of some Cal Arts fucking anime looking drawing of like Squirrel Girl drinking a milkshake or something fucked up. So this is the antithesis of that. This is a grown, red-blooded American man drawing a comic book being managed by a grown red-blooded American woman. Helen Meyer, president. Look at that. Can you imagine? I thought that Gail Simone was the first woman to ever woman in comics. But you'd be wrong. It was Helen Meyer, and there was probably somebody else before her. So happy Independence Day, everybody. Fuck you very much, Mr. and Mrs. Retardo, and I hope you have a fantastic day.